This podcast is Entel enhanced. To see pictures, articles and links of what's being discussed, download the Entel app.
Hello, welcome to the BiG Scuba Show.
Welcome back to the BiG Scuba Podcast. We are your hosts, Gemma and Ian. Before we get cracking with today's episode, we just want to make sure you have hit that follow button or the subscribe button, depending on what platform you are listening on. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts and you enjoy what you're going to hear today, we would really appreciate it if you can leave a review and a 5-star rating. So now that's out of the way, we just want to say welcome and thank you for all tuning in, and now it's time to dive into today's episode.
Hello, welcome back to the BiG Scuba Podcast. My name's Ian, I am your co-host, and with me is...
My name's Gemma and I'm the other co-host.
Yes, and if you listened to us before, you probably understand what this crazy podcast is all about. It's about diving and having fun underwater, and we've been diving.
We have, yeah. We're just back from, a week ago. We were probably in the water, weren't we?
We were, actually. 2 o'clock, yeah. We were just about finishing our last dive.
Yeah, so we went to the North Devon, and then we went out to the island of Lundy to do some diving.
Yeah, last episode we did a bit of a roving one, didn't we?
Yes.
And talked about some of the dives and where Lundy is. Lundy is a little rock of an island off the west coast and the Bristol Channel in the UK.
Yes, yeah. So it's the boat ride out, or the steam out to the actual dive locations, was about 21 miles.
It was, yeah. So, but it's a great place to go if you're visiting the UK or you're already a UK. It's a great place to add to your diving, list of places to visit. If you want to go somewhere and try something new.
We've ticked it off our UK bucket list.
Certainly have. So our last dive, that was on Gull Rock, wasn't it?
Yes, there was a rock with lots of gulls on it.
Lots of gulls on it. Yeah.
And it was in a bay, and there were plenty of seals popping their heads up. Yeah. And they kind of met us underwater, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It's actually quite well known for the how the seals behave there. Because not everywhere in the UK they're quite as tame, but they are quite tame.
They do interact.
Lundy, like they are at the farms.
Yeah, yep. So you had your fins nibbled and you had your leg nibbled.
Yes. They do tend to nibble at my fins, and they seem to don't pay too much attention to your fins so much, are they?
No.
But I think my fins, because they look like fish.
Yeah, you've got black fins.
Yeah, but it's quite a shallow dive, the last one. We were sort of
2 meters
2
maximum,
meters a
I
couple
think.
of times, and then we're down at 4 or 5 meters. That's where all the life is, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was a nice last dive to, we both had a little
had some
nibble.
fun. Yeah, had some fun with the old seals, and there's quite a lot of life there. You know, a lot of all sorts of crabs and little critters running about.
Jellyfish, tiny jellyfish.
Yeah, those little tiny jellyfish were amazing.
They were, and dogfish we saw some starfish, sea slugs, sea cucumbers, sea slugs.
Yeah, which are really cool.
And lots of plant life.
And the viz was pretty good as well, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Cold,
no, can't complain.
Cold.
Yeah, it was, I think, 12 degrees was the minimum we recorded. So, on a 30-40 minute dive, we did get a bit chilly, didn't we, towards the end?
Yeah, that's probably enough.
Yeah,
so it was good. Really good experience. And shout out to Lundy Diving and Hi Ho Charters.
Hi Ho Charters. Hello, Ben, and hello, Sam.
And
Andrew.
I want to say Hi Ho Silver. Why do I...
Hi Ho Silver.
It's the Hi Ho Silvers.
We were hi ho silvering on the waves, weren't we?
Yeah, it's brilliant, especially seeing them dolphins on the way.
Yeah, and that finished off the last dive and the last passage back to Ilfracombe. We saw a couple of dolphins. Yeah. Just playing in the bow, and then a bit further out in the surf behind the boat.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That was a pleasant surprise, and definitely a bonus, and nice way of finishing off the trip.
It was, yeah. So look up Lundy and maybe plan a little dive trip there.
Yeah, get down there this year. So if you're not going abroad, add Lundy to your dive locations that you want to go see.
Absolutely, and it's accessible for all levels of diver.
Yeah.
You can be an open water diver. You don't need to be advanced necessarily. So
there were some twin setters on the boat with us.
There were, yeah.
I'm not sure why.
No,
really.
Not
twin
when you're
set?
only doing 10, 12 metres.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But they had fun.
Yeah, they did.
They enjoyed it just the same as us.
I was the only girl on the boat, by the way.
Yeah, you were, weren't you? Yeah. Well, diving. There was a girl who was on there for
walking.
Got a trip over to walk around the island, didn't she? But yeah, the only girl diver.
Yeah. But the other guys on the boat were very friendly, and everybody had a good time. So
yeah, that's all good. We went down there in the Ford Transit Custom Nugget. You might have seen us share about it.
So that is a camper van, basically.
We love the Ford Nugget, don't we?
We do. Completely sold on it. So it's a perfect vehicle for anybody that wants an outdoor lifestyle or wants to go exploring the UK and take everything in.
If you're wondering what on earth we're talking about, just Google Ford Transit Custom Nugget. That'll come up, or Ford Nugget, or Westphalia Nugget. It'll come up. And if you want to think, right, a camper van, imagine something similar to a transit van or a VW van, because you see loads of them as well.
Yes.
But if you want to be a bit different, get a Ford Nugget.
Yes, and we are members of various Facebook groups, and we've had quite a lot of interaction from the Ford Nugget community.
Yeah, so shout out to them.
Yeah, so thank you for being very reactive, and it's a very positive group of people, and they love their nuggets.
Yeah, I was talking to Ford on Friday actually about future cars that we've got coming up to share on the podcast with certainly some future diving trips. And one of the guys I was speaking to, he was saying that he had the Nugget a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, you soon make friends with a Nugget, don't you? And I agree. You know, we had lots of interaction from people coming up to us and saying they like the Nugget and wanting to know about it.
Can they have a look inside?
Yeah. Did it work as a dive vehicle?
Yes, big tick, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
We had 4 cylinders or a dive kit in there. And you think we got some really steep, windy little roads in North Devon.
Yeah, if you're from the UK, you know that Devon and Cornwall roads aren't the best.
No.
Once you get off the motorway, and they're very narrow.
30 odd to the gallon in fuel.
Yes, so it's it cost us a couple £100 in fuel, didn't it, there and back? Yeah. So not out of the way at all. So, and we didn't have any accommodation. Well, we paid for a campsite, but there were no big B&B fees, were there? So it's a good way to travel.
No. We've had one before, haven't we? And we had the smaller Nugget, and that was absolutely fine. We loved that. This time it was the Plus.
So it's a little bit longer.
You get a bit more room, and you get a toilet in, which
No, we don't need to use that.
If you're going to use the toilet, you get a little bit of a curtain that protects your modesty. And
that's all.
Nah.
But it does make a little bit more room in the back of the kitchen area, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, and the storage in the Nugget we got everything in. We used the cupboard space. We probably had a bit of cupboard space free, to be honest, didn't we?
Yeah.
So
well, I don't think you bought as much gear this time, did you?
Speak for yourself. Anyway, but yes, definitely recommend it. It's definitely a single person or a couple's vehicle. 4 people in that, or 3 people would be a bit of a squish.
Yeah. And there's on our social media links where you can go to Ford's website.
Yeah,
and,
the show notes
details.
will have a link as well. So take a look.
Yeah, take a look at that. BiG Scuba, powered by Ford. There we go. And this ain't come about just recently. I've been a Ford man. People who know me, I've been a Ford man for years, ever since going back to Ford Orions, Ford Escorts, Mondeos, Rangers.
And Sierra?
My dad was Sierra. He had Cortinas and Sierras. So, I am a bit of a Ford man.
Yeah, and I've always not looked at Fords, but now the Nugget and the Raptor. Yes.
Yeah, I love the Ford. I think there's something special about the old Nugget, actually.
There is, yeah. So a little bit,
The Raptor was really good fun. I loved the Raptor.
The Cougar was practical because it was a hybrid. So Ford have a lot of good things going for them, definitely. So comfy
as
cars,
a dive
good
vehicle,
quality.
If I think, especially if you like getting a couple of dives in, having the brew up for a cup of tea, pitching up somewhere really nice. If you're looking around this year for thinking, well, camper van, maybe I'm going to stay in the UK. If you want something different, and there are a few up for sale on, or if you look on Auto Trade at the moment, there's a few up. They're not cheap, definitely not cheap, but they offer a lot for that money. They offer a lot, and the good thing about it is, if you want to be different, then bring that into the argument, because there is thousands of VW camper vans, and you'll just turn up like you've got the same one as someone else has got.
Look how many we saw on the road in Devon.
Loads.
Absolutely.
Loads.
Yeah, loads and loads. So, but how many nuggets did we see?
None.
In
fact, I've only seen 2 on the road, actually.
Yeah, I think I've only seen 1 round here, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a little bit different, they look like a smart transit van from the front, and you can really only tell they're a nugget by having the Westphalia badge and the awning on the side.
Yeah.
So.
Coming up soon next month, we've got a Ford Mustang Mach-E, which I'm really looking forward to. It's a fully electric car, and I should be on dive master duty towards the end of June, and I should have the Mach-E to use for that weekend. But what we're going to try and do is a little test with it, because Stony Cove is like our central point for training and doing, if we want to do some trials, test work or something like that, or just have a bimble about, we go to Stony Cove.
Yeah, it's our nearest dive.
It's easy to get to. It's great gang of people up there.
Good facilities.
And and we know it, blah, blah, blah. From Bungay to Stony Cove and back is about 280 miles. So one of the things that we're going to do with Ford and is the fully electric Mustang Mach-E, is can we go to Stony, do let's say 2 dives, maybe hopefully 3.
Yep.
Come back on 1 charge, because the charge in their figures are 360.
Yeah, so it should give us a bit of playing around mileage.
If their figures are correct.
Well,
with perfect conditions, and that's probably an empty car.
Yeah, we're going to have some weight in it.
With all our dive kit, because we're now thinking about it, aren't we? We're thinking about diving, and we're thinking about price of fuel. Do we go fully electric? If you're looking around for another car, do you go fully electric, or do you just go for another diesel or petrol car? It's all relevant stuff. So one of the things I want to see is whether we can load it up with all our kit that we'd normally take, get there and 1 charge. If we can't, we've got to somehow factor that in.
Yeah, so we've decided already, haven't we? We're going to have a plan A, B and C, just so that we...
So it's going to be a longer charge, because you can't... A lot of these places, it's very hard to get a rapid charge.
Yeah, and a longer day for us.
It would, but it'd be really good to hear your thoughts. If you think this is a good idea, be interesting to see how it works out. Can we get there and back on 1 charge? Will the figures, Ford's figures, actually stack up? Which would be really cool if they do.
Watch this space.
Yeah. So, or we might be broken down on the side of the road going, "Ah!"
We might have no charge.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, it happens. And if it does, it happens.
Well,
so
we
look
have
out
seen
for
it.
that.
So, but yeah, that's coming up. So yeah, thank you to Ford for all their support as well.
Yeah, love it, and we look forward to that and carrying on. Well, you got some news with one of our past guests when we had Andy Forster on from Dive Project Cornwall.
So way back, we spoke to Andy about Dive Project Cornwall, and that's all about getting youngsters involved in the ocean world. Right. So they've raised an awful lot of money already through donations from dive industry supporters and companies, but they need a little bit more. So they've set up a crowdfunding page. So I think they're aiming to earn another £40,000.
Wow.
So it's not an awful lot in this whole scale of things when you're looking at £250,000. So take a look at the link in our show notes, and that will take you to the crowdfunding page. So it doesn't matter how small, large your donation is, every little will help. So I think they're looking obviously for the 40 grand, and I think they're sort of just heading towards £1,000 at the moment, but we've got plenty, I think another month or so to generate that income. So, but yeah, so Andy Forster, he was a previous guest, so have a listen to that episode, and he's really enthusiastic about the whole thing. But it is getting young divers involved in diving, and some of them may not have even seen the sea, so it's a really big thing, and it starts very shortly. I think it's towards the end of June, so take a look at that. So that's Dive Project Cornwall.
And just looking back when we had him on, that was end of January on that was episode 106.
Shortly after it all became public as well. So and I think just on the crowdfunding, they've also linked up with Waterhaul. They make sunglasses out of recycled fishing gear and fishing nets. Cool. So have a look at them. I'll put a link to Waterhaul as well, but that's another really interesting company to have a look at. Talking
about other interesting companies and organisations, one of our other previous guests, they've won an award, and they're sharing that with the world and asked us to let you guys all know. So the Reef World Foundation, they are a winner of the Escape 100. Mm-hmm. So this is a worldwide competition. The Reef World Foundation has been selected for the Escape 100, a well-known campaign highlighting the top proposed led companies to escape to in 2022. Mm-hmm. Beating some 13,000 other company nominations, the Reef World Foundation has ranked number 6 globally thanks to their inspiring mission, positive impact and flexible working environment, ranking alongside social enterprises giants like Oddbox, Olio, Too Good To Go and Moving Worlds and more. The Escape 100 campaign was started by Escape the City, while on their mission to help 1 million quit their corporate jobs and find work that matters to them and the world. They began to wonder what actually makes an organisation different, forward-thinking and impactful. They came up with a scoring system of 6 criteria: impact, people, mission, planet, innovation and B Corp, to rank companies including anonymous employee reviews, and the Escape 100 was born. So they've done really, really well.
Yeah, there's quite a lot involved there.
Yeah, the campaign comes at a key moment in working history. Since the pandemic started, employees all over the world have been given time to think about what really matters to them. How true is that? And are increasingly prioritising finding new, meaningful, flexible and forward-thinking work environments. This has all been reported in the Times papers. In Escape the City's recent survey of 1,500 job seekers, 89% want a career with a clear sense of purpose, up from 71% in 2015, with 73% saying that their reflection time during the pandemic has made them reevaluate their path. Furthermore, for 74% of professionals, a flexible working location is the primary barometer they use when choosing a new role. Now, we had Reef World Foundation on, one of our really early guests.
Yeah, Samantha Craven.
Yeah, and they are forward-thinking. We're one of their outreach partners, aren't we?
Yeah, and they come up with different things. They've just recently done like a snorkeling best practice guide, haven't they? So then they've done it for divers as well. So it's really good. And then they go around and approve diving centres to make sure that they're ticking all the boxes as well.
One of their foundation's directors, JJ Harvey, made a comment about the campaign to say what that actually means to them, and what his view is that this is a fantastic recognition of our combined effort to ensure that the Reef World Foundation is a forward-thinking and evolving organisation that is positioned to effectively take on the challenges we face in helping protect and conserve coral reefs. We're delighted to be in the top 100 for the third time in a row, and coming to number 6 this year shows that we are on the right track. Our staff have been key to this, and the award is a reflection of their input and hard work. So well done to them, guys.
Perfect. Yeah, really good. Yeah, good to hear.
Yeah, so that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Also, just very quickly, I noticed a really good photo that's on social media this week, and I saw it on LinkedIn, which is really cool, and it was a photo taken about 18 months ago by the space station.
Oh, of the Barrier Reef.
Great Barrier Reef. And if you get a chance, have a look. It's under the Earth Observatory. If you look at their social media, there's a really clear distinction between the deep water and the shallow waters of the reef. And a really clear photo that was taken.
Yeah,
So,
we'll put the link in the show notes again, and take a look.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads well into our guests, because we are talking to the Sirene Project.
Oh,
and it's a platform for women involved in ocean and marine conservation.
right. Well, that's brilliant. Should we get them on?
Yep, so we spoke to Tatyana and Kaitlin, who are members of the Sirene Project, and they just tell us about what they do and about their scuba journey, and what they've got planned for the future.
Awesome.
So this is the Sirene Project. So welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast, and your name is Kaitlin, and can you tell our audience who you are?
Okay. Welcome to the BiG Scuba Podcast. My name is Kaitlin. I'm from Mesa, Arizona, and currently I'm living in Maryland. I work as a dive master at a local scuba shop here in Maryland, and I'm also working for a parks and recreation position.
Okay.
Yeah.
And busy?
I'm like, both schedules are very sporadic. So without my planner, I would not know where I need to be on which day. So
A bit like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. So Tatyana, so where are you based, and what is your background?
Hi, I'm Tatyana. I'm actually originally from South Florida. I'm currently now living in Virginia Beach because my husband is in the Navy, so it brought us up here. I'm actually working at a dive shop right here in Chesapeake Bay Diving in Virginia Beach, and I'm actually working on my dive master right now.
Oh, cool.
So it's a pretty exciting journey right now.
And how's that going?
It's pretty good. It's pretty intense. At the moment, I have a lot of specialties, dry suit now officially under my belt.
Hey.
And actually next weekend, we're going to North Carolina to do some deep and wreck. So I could finally get that off my specialty too. So I'm pretty excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great. We've had previous guests from North Carolina, and there is so many, wrecks, and it's on the, sort of different types of diving.
Yeah, so the two locations that we go diving, or at least we provide for through our shop, it's called Morehead City and then Hatteras. And so they're pretty famous for their wreck divings because they have sand tiger sharks on it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it's like supposed to be like dozens and dozens of sand tiger sharks. So for someone in the marine biology field and loves sharks, that's probably more of the big excitement for me on this trip than probably the wrecks itself.
Yeah, so I think when we previously made contact, you have a big interest in sharks.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so how did that start?
So it actually started at a really young age. I probably have to thank my dad for this more than anything else. He actually made me watch the film Jaws. And, you only have two reactions. You're either afraid of it or you end up loving it. So I ended up loving it so much. I was like, no, I need to know more about this creature, this animal that they're talking about. And so I kind of just went down the rabbit hole on this. And from there, I got addicted. I had every book, every documentary, everything I could learn about them. And I love them so much.
They are pretty amazing creatures. And as we know, one of the last of the prehistoric monsters as well, aren't they?
Yes, I mean, they are older than trees, so that's what's so interesting about them. And I mean, I don't know, they don't look menacing to me. They just look so interesting. There's just something about them. They're just so pretty and intriguing, and they just bring such a sense of wonder and mystery to the dive.
Yeah.
How sort of have you done much diving with like great whites or anything like that?
So when I first got certified, I was hoping that's what it would lead to, but actually it was mostly a lot of boat work.
Right.
So when I finally got into a university that was doing the research, the water is very murky where we were doing a research, a lot of marshland, so not really dive friendly. So we'd actually bring the specimen onto the boat and grab the samples, blood, muscles, fin clips. And that's how I really actually gained my experience, was more handling them than diving with them.
Yeah.
But I have done like at least snorkeling with them on my own personal time. And this will be actually the first dive trip next week that involves actual sharks. So I'm really hoping to see a lot more species other than sand tiger sharks.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, it is. Sounds amazing. So Kaitlin, how did your scuba journey start?
So when I was like 16 years old, I had a very interesting biology class for high school. Like, I don't know how this course was okay, because one of the things we ended up having to do was like a survival trip in the desert for 24 hours without food or water.
Wow.
So I don't know how a school allowed that. But yeah, really interesting guy who taught the class, and he offered this like scuba trip. It wasn't for credit for my coursework or anything, but it was like a thing on the side that you could sign up for. And I
hold on.
knew that.
So you was in the desert, no food, no water. How many people?
Everyone who took. I was 16 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. But like, it was just me kind of off on my own. I could see some people in the distance, and you had to like make a shelter and make a campfire, and like you had very limited supplies. So
yeah,
I mean, probably like very good practical skills to have, if for whatever reason I'm stuck in the desert,
So you're in a desert, and how does that transfer to the ocean?
So I grew up in Arizona. I used to go to San Diego regularly, which is like a 6-hour drive. And that's where I fell in love with the ocean. So I like knew very early on that I wanted to be involved with the ocean in some way. And then when I saw that he was offering that scuba trip, I was like, yes, like I really want to learn how to scuba dive. And I got certified so that I could go on that trip. And it was like, I was 16. We were living on a boat for like 5 days. It was awesome. It was so cool. So weird too, like finishing that and then getting back on land, and you're like, you feel like you're still swaying.
Yeah.
Because of like the motion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that what kind of made
I got
you
certified in a lake?
So whereabouts did you qualify?
It was in a lake in Arizona called Lake Pleasant. But then when I was in college, I continued my scuba journey in Hawaii. So
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Good place to do it in Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. Certainly beats diving into a muddy pond to do your dive master stuff.
Well, doing the like lake dives for my open water, I saw one fish.
Really?
And maybe like 20 golf balls, because we were like right next to a golf resort.
Yeah. So how many dives have you done so far?
That I have counted for sure 60.
Yeah,
maybe a bit more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And how about you, Tatyana?
I am actually now at 47. So when I do Hatteras, it would be my 50 log dive actually.
Cool.
So pretty excited. Probably more. I think it'll be like 51, 52, but big celebration anyway.
About the same as Gemma.
Yeah, I'm 46. Yeah, so yeah, so it's really good to talk to people that are quite new in the journey as well, and where it's you've had a lot of experience as well, and like you, Kaitlin, you've been to St. Abs, Tatyana, you've got this interest in sharks. It's amazing. Yeah. So what are you currently doing, the both of you, at the moment? So Tatyana, what are you doing at the moment with your diving?
So right now, when I moved here, I asked them if they were teaching anybody to be open water certified as an instructor.
Yeah.
So at the moment, that's actually where my path is right now. That's what we carved out. So hopefully by the time next week I complete those last certifications, I can start doing like dive guide and science of diving. And that will really open up like the books for me to, work more into assistant and hopefully instructing myself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the path I'm on. But I do have actually hopes as well as to get back into my master's as well, to continue that shark journey as well. So not only do I want to be an instructor on the side, if the time needs it, but also I know I do want to be like a dive master as a graduate student, because I know that's going to be pretty beneficial to have that one student that's like, I got this, guys.
Yeah, that's so your interest in sharks. So do you follow Christina Zanato, because she's been one of our guests?
I do. I saw that you guys interview her and I was like, wow, she's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, well, sharks cover a big spectrum, don't they? So yeah. So how about you, Kaitlin? Where are you in your journey so far?
So I got my dive master in November, and then I moved here to Maryland from Arizona. So I was looking for some scuba shops here, and I was actually looking for specifically like a woman-owned scuba shop, because I felt like I would feel more comfortable in that space. And so like I really like the shop I work with. It's called One Ocean Scuba. And Cindy is like, I don't know how she works a full-time job and she's like a business owner, and like so I'm currently helping her out by working in the shop sometimes, and then I've been teaching Discover Scuba classes with my dive master, because I did the internship, and that's like usually at some random indoor pool here, but I'm really excited because tomorrow we're going to be going diving in the Susquehanna River. I don't know how to say it. We're doing
a river you've been waiting to dive for a while?
It's not necessarily for the views, but we're doing a cleanup dive in honor of Earth Day. Yeah. So I'm excited to celebrate Earth and take care of Earth in that way. Earth Day.
So is it very deep?
I have no idea. I will get back to you on that.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, because we do a regular river clean here in Norwich, and it's really good. It's interesting because you find
all sorts of things,
trash, and you get all that out, but you do find some quite interesting things as well.
I heard last year they found a bicycle.
Yeah, bikes. We had a plate of thoughts, I think.
We had that last time. Yeah, and
all sorts of things, don't we?
Yeah. So there's all sorts of rubbish people just throw in the river, but it's great to feel that you can clean it up and just make it a bit of a better place.
Tires. Normally get loads of tires.
Well. Cones, traffic cones. Yeah.
It's good to get all that out.
Oh, well, good luck with that. That's really good. So how did you get involved in the Sirene Project?
So I had been following the Instagram account, and I saw that they were advertising for a web designer, and I'm pretty organized, so I felt like that was something I could do. And I reached out to Leoni, and we had kind of like an interview with our old teammate Andrea, who no longer is as involved anymore. And I'm kind of taking a step down as well, to like focus on like other priorities in my life. But yeah, like it went really well. The chemistry between us is really good. I ended up meeting Tatyana a little bit later, because I think she got brought on board a little bit after me. So.
Yeah. And for people who don't know what the Sirene Project is, and they think, what on earth is this? Tatyana, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so, Leoni created this platform that she wanted to bring women of all different backgrounds of ocean conservation on this platform to connect with each other, and as well as highlight them. And then also as hopes like you guys inspired the next generation. So there are so many women that we featured on a daily basis that are divers, that are photographers, that are, nonprofit organization, government, you name it, any background they have, as long artists. As they, artists, as long as they're surfers, that was a big one too. As long as they're involved in the community, we wanted to highlight their efforts that they've done, because no matter how big or small it was, they're making impact in their community and the world.
Yeah. So they don't need to be just divers. They can be just connected to the ocean or some water.
Yeah,
exactly.
Leoni always says, like, you don't have to be a scientist to be an ocean conservationist, which I always liked that. I resonated with that. So.
Yeah, well, citizen science, and that's something that anyone can get involved in and do a bit, even right down to a beach clean, and it all helps. And here we are talking on Earth Day, and what a great thing to talk about, getting trash out the oceans, rivers, and it's something that somebody can just do by a 5-minute clean, walking along the beach, and just pick some rubbish up and things like that. And, it's brilliant.
The Sirene Project also has a global ocean news ambassador section, which we have women from different continents sharing some type of like current event related to the ocean in the area that they live. So that's also really cool, because we're bringing in we have like kind of pen pals all over the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's good. It's a global kind of movement then, isn't it? With people with
very international.
Yeah, and that's really good, because it's a community then, isn't it? It's not just USA based or UK based. It's just worldwide and all encompassing.
Yeah, the goal of that ambassador program was really to try, like Kaitlin said, is not only to highlight that news that's happening in their side of the world, but to also translate it not just into English but into their language. That was one of the big things that Leoni had mentioned, that most of the news is always in English, and it's not translated into other languages. So a lot of the girls that we have, they speak like 2-3 languages, and they take their work and they translate it so that those women that are coming into the page, they don't just see English, they see, oh, someone's speaking Spanish, someone's speaking German, like, oh, this is great, now I can actually learn what's happening across the world and in my community as well.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have the community of, women and girl divers around the world. So it's there's
no men in there then?
Yeah, there's a lot of female divers in the group. One of the big ones are like the technical divers, actually.
Yeah. But I said no, there's no men in there.
Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah, there's no. We only.
I feel a bit left out.
You have to set up your own group.
I shall.
Sorry.
for the both of you, when you were starting out on your scuba journey, did you feel it was quite male dominated?
Yeah, I think there was just me and one other girl becoming divers when I started. And my first when I attempted it was in 2015. And then when I got here into the shop, now there's a lot of girls coming in now more than anything else.
Yeah.
They're all in, their early teens and their, early 20s, and, their parents are bringing them in and they're like, yeah, my daughter wants to be a marine biologist. So I feel like it's becoming more and more normalized for girls to do it, to use it as a stepping stone for their career, which is really exciting.
Yes.
To be in the storefront and be like, oh yeah, I'm a marine biologist too. And they're like, yay, so I'm in the right spot. I was like, yes, you are.
Yeah. How about you, Kaitlin? Did you find there were did you find it was quite male dominated, or?
I've actually had, I think, a pretty lucky go of it. Like, yes, when I got certified as a 16-year-old, like most of the people on the trip were guys.
Yeah.
But then when I did my scientific diver program in Hawaii, it was mostly girls. And there was actually like mostly girls doing marine biology as well, like in that degree. So like, I guess I didn't really, like, I was 16, I wasn't really like thinking about that at the time. And then like when I did my dive master, I did kind of realize how male dominated it was. Like the shop that I had done my dive master through was definitely male dominated. So
yeah. I guess it depends what level you're going to, as
or where you are geographically, even like
yeah. For me personally, I'd say, when you go to an inland dive site, you feel it is quite male dominated. So,
of a certain age.
Of a certain
age.
Look. Of a certain age, yes. I would say in my community, it's still very much male dominated of a certain age. And I think next week, I'm pretty much the only girl on the boat.
Wow.
So that says a lot about our community still, that it's still very male dominant even still. And I think it's only because, the deep in the wreck, I don't think that's very common for marine biologists to get that specialty. Most of them are doing, like you said, Kaitlin, like the scientific diver. And from what I've seen coming into the shop, I already had like 4 or 5 girls and 1 guy that are actually joining that class.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, isn't it? But hopefully with, the project, having Sirene Project out there and other girl or women orientated diving organizations, it will just get the message out there that everything is accessible.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kaitlin, what is your plan for the future? Have you got a kind of journey you want to go along with your diving?
I think I would like to become an instructor, but for now I'm really enjoying just being a dive master, and I think a lot of shops are always looking for dive masters.
It's a nice role, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice job.
Because I kind of enjoy like I always equate it to like being like a TA for like a college class. Like you're not really like the main instructor. You're like kind of on the side helping out with whatever. And I like having not too major of a role with it, but I like being able to have one-on-one time with the students. And it's like really great to see like how excited they get with their first experience underwater. I do really like that. But I'd like to like maybe teach people to snorkel as well.
Yeah. Well, we've spoken to people about snorkeling, and that is a good introduction into the underwater world without like literally throwing yourself into like breathing underwater. You're just getting that kind of aspect, and then maybe it might lead to.
That's what helped you, wasn't it?
Yeah. I started snorkeling in the river with lockdown and everything, and that was great, getting kind of an awareness of the underwater world without, just getting thrown in the deep end, so to speak. Yeah. So what about you, Tatyana? What's your plan for the future? Have you got some kind of idea where the scuba is going to take you?
I think I have some ideas. I mean, ultimately, I would like it to bring me back into, the science field and be more of a scientific diver. But, I've been talking to the owners here, and because we've had so many girls coming through, as long as I'm here, I would like to make it more about that younger generation and teach them either the marine ecology courses or certify them, because I know being that in this location is still very male dominated, I would like to create that, that space that's safe for them and comfortable to be like, okay, it's not just a guy teaching me, there is also a girl that is involved heavily in diving. So I would like to be that role model for them, and help them be the stepping stone in their career. So that would be just as satisfying as well too.
Yeah, that's good.
No, it's really good. Yeah. So it sounds like you've got a fair bit of ambition ahead of you. And, so you diving quite regularly?
At the moment, it's been very cold, so I haven't been able to get in the water as much as I like to. I think it was about 3 weeks ago, I had to go dive to do the dry suit, and it was like, I don't know how to I know it's like 45 degrees Fahrenheit for us.
It's cold. Yeah.
It was, even with a dry suit, I was like,
yeah, 45. That's going to be 8 degrees, something.
Yeah.
Just about. And we had the student with us who's a cop, and we train the cops here regularly as divers. And he was in a wet suit that whole entire time.
Oh.
No.
And I was watching him, and I was like, I shouldn't complain. I'm in a dry suit. And I felt really bad. He got a lot of cramps. I mean, he was like freezing.
He must have literally turned blue.
He really did. I mean, he would sit in his car between dives and just blast the heater on because he was like, then he came out with crazy. He came out with a good attitude. He came right back. He's like, all right, let's go back in the water, guys. And I was like, I like you.
Oh dear. Yeah. So how about you, Kaitlin? Have you been in the water much?
I haven't been in the water since being here in Maryland. Like, I've only done the pool stuff. But like last time I went diving was like in Arizona, again in the lake. And I had to do like my mapping project for my dive master, which like the lake we were diving in, it was like conveniently all in a straight line. All the things that we were marking, like there's some trees that are under the water. So that was like the last time I was in the water.
Cool.
Yeah. No, well, it sounds good. So for all of our guests, we always ask them a few set questions. So I'll start with you, Tatyana. So if you could take 3 people diving, who would you decide to take? They can be past, present. They don't need to dive, but if you could take 3 people important to you, or you want to show them the underwater world, who would you take?
So the first person I actually picked was Eugenie Clark, which is a big scientist. They call her the Shark Lady. When I read her memoir, The Lady with the Spear, the way that she described her free diving or her scuba dive trips, I would have loved to have been there during her time and been part of her research, because the way she describes in the books, she really does make sound like the ocean sound like a magical place that like it will never exist, but it's just magical. So I really would have loved to dive for her. She's the past. For the present, I actually chose my father. My father inspired me into this field to be a marine biologist, and weirdly enough, he's actually afraid of the ocean. So really? I've been trying so hard to motivate him to get certified, but he just won't do it. But it would be a dream to dive with my father and show him how far I have come and show him like, you fought me down this path. I would love to show you what I get to see on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that would have meant a lot to me. And actually, believe it or not, I got my husband certified. So he was my third person. So
wow.
He is my dive buddy actually now.
Cool.
But I would like to take him on one trip that's dedicated to just like marine conservation, whether it's, restoring coral or doing research that allows him to go with me so he could see the other side of scuba dive, not just the recreational part, but the part that, means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So we've done a few dives already at the lake for practice. And he was like my father. He was very much afraid. But now he loves it. And he's like, yeah, I'm really glad I got to do this.
Oh, that's
It's
amazing.
really pretty. So it's been a fun journey so far being his dive buddy.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome, Tatyana.
Yeah. So what about you, Kaitlin? Have you got 3 people that you'd like to take into the underwater world?
Yes. So first, can I just say that these questions are really, really good that you came up with? I was like, wow, this is kind of challenging. So I thought of Steve Irwin, actually, because I feel like he played a major role in my interest in ecology. And he would just be like right up in everything's face and like not afraid. But I also thought of my undergrad research supervisor, Dr. Moran, because she's so smart, so funny. She would be able to identify a bunch of stuff underwater, which I would love to learn. And I always really looked up to her because I thought it was so cool. Like, her husband is also a professor in marine biology at UH, and she did not change her last name for her publications. I respected that so much. I thought that was so cool. And then, I mean, I kind of thought of Jacques Cousteau, because he's the one who figured it all out. So it would be cool to go diving with him.
Yeah. Well, very good answers.
They are.
Thank you.
Okay, we're not finished yet. We have more. Okay, so another question that we'd like to ask our guests. And this time I will ask Tatyana this time. We like to give our guests a nugget. Doesn't always have to be about diving, but if it can be about diving, bonus, that'd be great. Sometimes there'll be something that happens in our dive and we'll think, really should share that with our listener or our buddy, or when we get back to the dive center. Do you have a nugget that you can share with our listener? Something that you've learned and you thought, something to feed back?
Yeah, it's actually the guest that taught me this. In the handful of times that I was able to assist open water and see these students get certified, one of the biggest things that impacted me was someone that was older and said, I'm so glad I got to do this. And they felt that their age was going to hinder their experience. And, it always really hit me home because, I feel like this pandemic really brought that out of me too, that I felt like my age. I mean, I know for a lot of people, I'm still very young, but for, the pressure I was feeling when I was younger, but I had to have this many goals reached at this point in my life has made me realize that you could achieve anything at any point in your life. The goals are endless. And if you don't like the one you're on now, you could get a new one. Or if you completed that one, you could get a new one. It just, I feel like life is always going to teach you and open opportunities for you to do, no matter what point in your life you're at. So I feel like if anybody's listening to this, that they feel like they're at that point, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this. You will. It may not happen right then and there, but it's gonna happen at some point in your life. You're gonna make it happen if you really want it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very good.
Okay, same question to you, Kaitlin.
So I was thinking along the lines of live a life of compassion for yourself. So that means doing what you need to do to feel good about yourself. And ultimately, it's your life. So tell the person how they wronged you. eat the healthy food because it makes you feel better. Take your vitamins, drink water, like do the diving you want to do because it's like your life. So and have the people around you that make you shine because you want to feel like your best self, most authentic self.
Yeah, very good advice.
Yep,
Yeah,
like that one.
Yep,
That's
very
excellent.
good. Yeah. So another question is obviously if you could tell the world something. So if you had a billboard that you could hold in your hand or put on a wall or something that the whole world could see, what would you put on that billboard and why? So Kaitlin.
I love this question because it there's so many things that went through my head, but the thing that really stuck with me, so I went to New York in July and they have this big countdown up on a building that tells you the amount of time to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius rise.
Okay.
It's only like 7 years and something. And I feel like having it in that way gives people like more of a grasp on the situation. And I think that's quite powerful. And I hope that it impacts people to want to change. So
yeah,
quite scary as well when you think about it.
I know.
You see this big clock counting down. Like, so what's going to happen when it gets to zero?
well,
The first
7
time
years.
I saw that, it gave me so much like eco anxiety. So
well, that's a good word, eco anxiety. Yeah, yeah, but 7 years isn't very long at all.
No.
No,
No,
that's not.
no.
When you think about it.
No. So how about you, Tatyana?
Yeah, this one really I had to think really hard on this one. But I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there was always like the little world and they had all these little children hold hands and they all had like different looks and characteristics to them. And to me that screamed like diversity and how important that is to any aspect of life, to work together with people from all over the world and see what kind of ideas that they could bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what the change really comes from, is that when we work together, we listen to each other's ideas, critiques, we can make any improvements. And I mean, if anything, this pandemic has shown that a lot, that how internationally everybody's working together and helping each other find connections. And I'm just so happy that I've gotten to make so many connections from people all over the world. And I couldn't ask for anything more. Like, I would love if I had a chance to see all of these girls and guys in person, if opportunity and money ever gave me the chance before I pass away, and just see that what they do in their community, learn about their community, and just explore and expand my own knowledge and wisdom within that.
Yeah, no, that's really
Me and
good.
Tatyana still need to meet up. Like,
We do.
We're still just virtual friends. We haven't
met in person,
but we're so close.
Sounds like you got to make it happen.
Yeah, it will.
We're like 3 hours away from each other right now.
Yeah.
What, 3 hours driving or flight?
Yep. Driving right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So being part of the Sirene Project, how does that make you feel?
Blessed. Fortunate. In Kaitlin's, perspective, she found the platform. I didn't. Leoni found me, actually. I didn't know about it until one day she reached out to me to be a featured girl. And when she reached out to me, I was really touched because I felt really lost in my marine biology journey, especially straight after graduating in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of opportunities and chances to present my research and connect. And, that left me in a really dark place because I was like, I don't know what to do next. So when she asked me to be part of the team and I got to meet, so many people, it, makes my heart like 10 times bigger because, all these girls are absolutely amazing and fantastic and smart and just beautiful souls all around.
I think there's something really special about the way that women can uplift each other. Like the support is so unique and so loving, and it just is like a really nice thing to be a part of. And we all kind of like, we have that empathy to like be there with each other through whatever we're going through.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, that's good. And it's good to have that platform that obviously across social media as well, you've all got that connection.
And it was like, I found it really helpful talking to different girls that were featured or ambassadors and stuff about looking for jobs and stuff, because I mean, we've all had, you know, a rough go of that with COVID. So it's been really comforting to speak to other people about their experiences and know that you're not alone in that. So
yeah. No, it sounds a great platform, you know, and I'm sure it'll just grow and grow and evolve as around the world, really. Yeah. No, that's really good. Yeah,
it feels like our little baby, because like Leoni had to like step aside a few months into like starting the project, and then Tatyana and I had been like running it for like the last year pretty much. So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So are you always looking for new kind of people to enroll into the kind of Sirene Project field?
At the moment we're putting our creative brains together and, you know, think about how to expand the team, as well as you know, what more do we want to do with the project itself, you know, how do we want to impact the community even greater than we already are. So that's in the works right now, and think about what's our next step for growing the Sirene Project.
And do you have to be US based, or can you be different parts of the world?
Anywhere. Yep.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's great.
That's good.
And it's great for, you know, that community of, you know, and it's predominantly women that you enroll into the Sirene Project, isn't it? Yeah. So
could you like because there's divers who are, you know, Ukrainian. Is there anything you could do for any of the people coming out of there, you know, who maybe by just nationality they are Ukrainian? Is there anything connection you could do for somebody like that?
So I know with Leoni, she's been finding people to hand out resources for them. And we've been trying to post it as well on, you know, the platform as well as the website to help out in any way we can. You know, we may not be as large as a group and be able to do as much financially, but if we could provide resources and, you know, help them connect with someone that's close to them or that can help them as well. I mean,
sometimes it's just having a voice at the end of even on a Zoom or a, you know, even a phone call, and sometimes it's just that is enough, isn't it? You know, you can't obviously you can't physically be there.
Yeah, no, well, having that reach, you know, out there is just amazing, and bringing everybody together is great. Yeah. So if people want to find out more about the Sirene Project, where is the best place for them to kind of connect and get a bit more information?
Or our website, go out your way to check the website, unlike pretty much everyone's on Instagram. So
we do actually have some Facebook groups too, only because depending on where, like one of the things we learned is certain countries use Facebook more than Instagram. So like with the ambassadors, we have like their individual groups, because I think Leoni was telling that people in South America use Facebook more to communicate. So we have to expand our platforms there so that we can use on all forms of communication for the girls.
How about Twitter? Do you use that?
So we do use Twitter, but I will admit I'm not like a Twitter expert. I still haven't grasped Twitter well enough. So I think that's why we're also going to expand the team to someone who probably does know Twitter a little bit better. Because I do feel like Twitter has its own very special voice, you know. It's not just a place that we can use to just like highlight the girls like Instagram.
It's not it's not best for pictures and things. No,
it's not more words.
Yeah, it's got more words, and I don't have the words to be as impactful on there. So we're hoping to find someone that does know that a little bit better.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. As long as you're over all social platforms, then people, wherever they are in the world, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they can make that connection. So we'll put all those in the show notes, and everybody can look up the Sirene Project. But yeah, it sounds an amazing community, and it's great that you're, sort of getting it out there for all the ocean conservationists, to kind of give that community, and you can all talk to each other. Yeah.
We're grateful for it.
Yeah.
It's been so fun interviewing with you guys.
This is fantastic.
That's been good having you on. So we'll say thank you very much for for giving us some of your time on today. So it's been brilliant.
Yeah, no, and we'll obviously it's great making that awareness out to all our listeners about the Sirene Project, and if there's any budding marine biologists out there, then maybe reach out to you guys and connect. And
and if we're ever there, we have to connect with you guys so you guys can take us diving with us.
Yes, well, if Kaitlin has done St. Abs, then you've got to come and do the Farne Islands.
Anytime in the UK, drops a line.
Yeah.
That's it.
I totally will.
Kayla and I will book tickets today.
Summertime, you'll be all right in a wetsuit. You'll be fine in a wetsuit.
Perfect. If anything, I have a dry suit.
Either way, it's a good place to dive, especially in the summer. We've got, we're an island nation, so there's loads here to see as well. But do keep in touch, and keep us aware of your journeys, and we'll share that on our social media as well. But it's been really lovely to talk to you, and it's great having you on, and keep doing what you're doing. It's brilliant.
It's the main thing.
Thank you. And
thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. This was really, really fun.
Good. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day, special day. All right, send our hellos to Leoni as well. So,
we will.
Yeah. All right then. Lovely to talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that conversation that we had with Tatyana and Kaitlin.
Well done.
Got the names right that
We know
time.
what your names are.
Yes, because one of the other names I used to get muddled up was Rose.
Rosalind. Rosemary.
Sorry.
Anyway, just a bit of BiG Scuba history.
Sorry. Moving on swiftly. Yes, before I get in trouble. So thanks for you guys for coming on and
look them up.
Your time with us.
Yeah, so there's quite some inspiring young women on their Instagram page.
Yes.
Yeah, so have a look.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. This week is the Queen's Jubilee week, isn't it?
It is, yes. So platinum, I think it is.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing? Let us know. Enjoy the celebrations. If you're in the UK or in the Commonwealth, let us know how you are celebrating the Queen's. Or if you're not, I know it's kind of in some parts of the Commonwealth that's controversial.
Might be going for a dive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
some of us have got to work, but it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And let us know how you are doing that. Don't forget, also coming up next month, early part of next month, is World Oceans Day.
That's on the 8th.
That's come around quick again.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's only So we'll be posting about that. So that's the week after next.
Yeah. Again, let us know how you are going to mark that event.
Yes. Yeah, we like hearing from you.
That'd be good. Talk about that. It'd be really nice if someone could leave us a review. Come on, somebody out there who listen to iTunes. I know other platforms are out there, but if you're downloading us on iTunes, we need some reviews.
Yes, we keep
asking. Because it helps us build. It costs nothing.
Yeah. So you're listening to this on Monday lunchtime.
Just leave it. Takes a few seconds. Leave us a 5-star review. It helps us get found by your dive buddies who are going, these scuba podcasts, is there any out there? Yes, there is. There's us. Other ones are available, of course, but it helps us get found. So if you enjoy us, leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah,
and it helps the system.
If you don't listen on iTunes, Apple, whatever, then send us a message on Instagram or put something on one of our posts about what you think of the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
We'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, or if you think Ford Nugget, or if you think in Reef World or something like that, you got some feedback on any of the stuff that we talked about today, give us a shout. Let us know.
Yeah,
send us a
absolutely.
message.
Yeah, because we love hearing from you.
We certainly do, and hearing from you guys, and we met some
of
listeners,
our listeners.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Makes it all worth it.
Yeah, guy on the quay. He said, "Oh, you're the BiG Scuba Podcast," and then we had a guy on the boat, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he listens to us, and we knew that we were going to meet up. So that's really great. It makes it
We met our other listener,
cave crawler.
the cave crawler.
Yeah,
Dave,
so no, it's
good
very
guy.
good. Yeah. So what?
And his mate Roger.
And his mate Roger. Yes.
Roger the Camboy.
Okay. So next week.
Next week we've got someone else.
Yep. So on next week's episode, we're going to talk to Alex, who is involved in the Mary Rose Trust, and she talks to us all about her diving and the actual raising of the Mary Rose.
Yeah, Alex was involved right from the very start, and sort of right from the start of the raising, and now is head of looking after all these items. And be really interesting if you've been to the museum and seen it at any stage of it. Perhaps you remember. You're like Gemma. You remember the lifting. Personally, wasn't there.
How many years ago was it?
I don't know.
It's the 40th anniversary this year in October.
I bet you remember it. It was just yesterday.
Yes. I remember it being on Blue Peter.
So anyway. So we have a really good chat with Alex, and it was honestly, I'd like to get her back as well at some stage, because I think there's more that we could ask, and we kind of run out of time really, and I think at some stage we're going to head down there.
Yes.
To have a look around. I did go down there. I took me and Harvey and Honey. We went down and had a wander about, and it is a brilliant museum. It's awesome what they've done. And if you want somewhere to go this year, and you're in the UK, or if you're visiting the UK, make sure it's in Portsmouth. Go and have a look. Yeah. And it's such a big part of our history.
And there's still possibly some more things to discover on that seabed,
which blew me away.
Yeah.
And the fact that we, they have to rent that space off the Crown.
Seabed. Yeah.
So there's loads in that, and I was like, wow, yeah, that's amazing to hear.
So it makes a really interesting conversation, wasn't it? And even if you're not a diver and you remember the Mary
Rose, bit of a special, I
yeah.
think this one. I think that's fair
definitely.
to say.
Yeah, it's part of our UK history, and again, like we always say, you don't need to be a diver to listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
You'll get
absolutely.
something from it.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, I think that's it. I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah, I think so. So thank you for listening and downloading, and leave us a review.
That was the BiG Scuba Podcast.
See you next week.
Bye. Now that does wrap up today's episode of the BiG Scuba Podcast. But if you want to hear more from the podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button depending on what platform you are listening on. That way you will never miss an episode from us. But if you are listening on Apple Podcasts and did enjoy what you heard today, we would really appreciate it if you head to the show page to leave a 5-star rating and review. It really does help us. If you do, please take a screenshot of that review and send it to us on Instagram, and we'll give you a shout out to say a big thank you. If you have any questions for us or anything that has been mentioned in today's episode, be sure to reach out to us on any of our social media platforms or send us an email. The links are in the show notes. We will get back to you no matter what. If you have made it to this point in the episode, we both want to say a big thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.